was sitting in the office right before I left to come home, and I was trying to figure out what would be a good subject to talk about on the ride. And you know, so many topics have been covered so many times, and you know, we start running out of things to talk about. Even though I'm pretty good at rambling about nothing, I thought that, well, you know what, having a subject might be a good idea. So what I came up with, and we'll see if this even gets published, is like an introduction or a reintroduction to me and maybe the channel. And I've had this motovlog channel, if you want to call it that. I've had this YouTube channel, let's just leave it there. So I had a YouTube channel for a number of years, and I enjoy it. It's fun. I know I've mentioned it more than once about how I like interacting with people. And but I think we gain subscribers, we lose subscribers. I subscribe to channels, and you know, to be quite honest, when you subscribe to a channel, it's rare, at least in my experience, it's rare to go back and watch every one of this person's videos. And unless they've got a good trailer that has an introduction exactly to who they are and what their channel's about, then you just don't know unless you go all the way back and figure it out. So this vlog is going to be an introduction of sorts. And I don't want to get too carried away because I don't want this vlog to be, you know, entirely too long. So my real name is Ron. So there's no mystery there. I couldn't come up with a clever name, and so I just came up with that. And at one point it was Ron C Motovlogs or Ron Motovlogs or whatever it might have been, because that's typically what I had planned to do. I mean, I got caught up in the whole motovlogger thing when I first started doing it. And I also have a couple of other channels, to be honest. One of them is a metal detecting channel, which I haven't touched in several years. There's only like 23 subscribers on there. I never did upload many videos. I also have a ham radio channel that's slowly growing. I moved all the videos I had here over to that one, because I had guys tell me that I had ham radio guys tell me that they, you know, left or unsubscribed or just weren't watching because they got bored with the motovlogs, and vice versa. You know, the motovloggers will get bored with the ham radio stuff. I'll probably still put ham radio videos on this channel though, because there's still people who are subscribed here for the ham radio stuff that haven't moved over to the other channel, which is fine. See how quickly I digress and turn this vlog into a long one? So I started this channel, and I decided that because I have so many interests that I was going to upload whatever content I felt like it. That's why there's motovlogging, that's why there's ham radio, that's why there's fishing, kayaking. It's a day in the life. It's a day in the life channel. So whatever goes on in my life on any given day, there could be that subject. So that's my name, and that is where the channel is coming from. So who am I? Well, you know my name. I was actually born here in the state of Virginia, in southwest Virginia, down in Abingdon, to be honest. So my father was in the military, and between assignments overseas between 1960 and 1969, he was able to father 3 sons. I'm the middle. So I lived there off and on during that time frame, but once he came back from Vietnam, we left Virginia, and we went to Germany, and we lived in Colorado. I lived in Fort Bliss, Texas for, I don't know, less than a year while he went to the Sergeant's Major Academy, and then we went back to Germany. So I was in Germany twice as a child. Second time we came back, I was in elementary school, 5th grade. And when he came back that time, he moved back to Georgia, Augusta, Georgia, Fort Gordon to be more specific. And that's more or less where I grew up. And so I had lived a sheltered life as an Army brat, going to DOD schools, that type of thing, moving around the world, traveling, So, you know, the military lifestyle was all I knew at that point. And so my dad retired from the military in 1978, and he continued on with his life and got a job, and I continued living my life growing up there like a dumbass teenager, you know, doing stupid things. Let's back up. So I graduated high school in 1984, and I was in high school. I worked fast food like just about every other teenager did, and I worked at a Popeye's fried chicken. And let me tell you, to this day, I haven't had it since I've been on this diet, but I still love some Popeye's fried chicken. Can't beat it. So anyway, I worked for Georgia Power shortly. It was a summer hire program. They called us petty cash because they really didn't pay us a salary. We were there temporarily. And we were building a nuclear power plant, Plant Vogel, which my oldest son coincidentally works at now as a nuclear electrician. So anyway, I decided in November of 1984 that I was ready to get the hell out of Dodge. So I went and talked to an Army recruiter, and I joined the Army. And I went to basic training at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri in December of 1985. And I didn't take off the uniform again until December 31st of 2004. So I spent just over 20 years on active duty Army. Various assignments, just like my father, you know, but you know, like I said, that was the life I knew. So I retired, interestingly enough, at the same base that my father retired from in 1978, Fort Gordon. A friend of mine that I was stationed with down there had moved out of state. He got out of the military, he didn't retire, and he moved up here to Virginia and was dealing with doing some work for the company, was selling some products to the company I work for now. And he said, man, you gotta give me a resume, you gotta come up and interview with these guys, you gotta work here. So anyway, I got the job here, and they hired me and my friend of mine who told me to come work for these guys on the same day. So I've been working for the same small veteran-owned company since I got out of the military in 2004. December of, well, not even. I got out in December of 2004, and I've been working here since January 9th of 2005. So I am married to my wife of, she's from Charlottesville, Virginia. I met her here in actually the town I live. And we met in 2009, and we got married in 2013. So there was a bit of a dating process there. We lived together for a while as well. I bought a house up here in 2007 because my youngest son moved up here with me. So he is also local. He doesn't live with me anymore. He's 26 years old, but he is local. He's about 2-3 miles away from me. And so my youngest son lives here. My oldest son lives in Georgia. So I'm pushing 54 years old. I'll be 54 years old next month. And I'm ready to retire now, but I can't do it because financial obligations. So I've been here in Virginia since I retired from the military, and happily married. Got 2 awesome kids that have stayed out of trouble, that are both successful in their lives, and I really could not be happier. So in a nutshell, that's who I am. And you more or less know my hobbies because they're all over my channel. I don't stick with a hobby very often. I get bored easy, I think, and then I have to move on. I did the photography thing for a while. I even got to where I had my own photography business. And I wasn't making any money out of it, and I did shoot a wedding, and that was probably the biggest payday I got for being a photographer. And I actually earned $1,000 on that trip, which was awesome. And to be quite honest, after the wedding I shot, I kind of like got bored with the photography thing. I even got into developing my old film with medium format cameras. So I did all that, learned how to do it, and then it just became, I think when the learning curve is over, when I feel like I've learned or absorbed, not necessarily the skills, but the knowledge. When I can't grasp any more knowledge of whatever it is I'm into, it becomes boring to me, and I have to move on to other things. So that's a downside to having so many, interests. Sometimes I wish I was very simple in the fact that I really didn't care. I had one thing I liked and everything else was much mixed, you know. I just didn't care. But it's not how it is. In my mind, you know, I get bored and I got to go find something to do or something new to learn. So I've done a lot, you know, over my years, and been to a lot of places, a lot of fun stuff. I've done some cool things, some interesting things. I've been to some cool places. I've been to some interesting places, and I've met some of the best people you've ever met in your life in the military. That's how it is with people that you become close with in the military. They're brothers and sisters. They're not, you know, they're not co-workers. And you veterans and first responders, law enforcement, fire, paramedic, you guys understand what I'm talking about. I know there's a lot of veterans that watch my channel, and I appreciate your guys' service as much as I appreciated serving alongside of you. Well, this has turned into a ramble fest, not exactly what I wanted it to be, so if I could chop it up to make a vlog out of it, I'll upload it. If not, oh well, it is what it is. Is that right, Viper 6? So anyway, I'm going to sign off here because I always forget to end the vlog, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Later. I want to take a couple of minutes and thank you. If you watched the video all the way to the end and you're seeing this, I really, really appreciate it. I'll put my email address and my mailing address right over here somewhere. And if you have stickers you want to send me, I'd appreciate it. Talk to y'all again soon. Goodbye.